Okay, so we were talking about like little elements and micronutrients that you need to have in your diet. And we talked a little bit about a case study where a girl wasn't getting enough potassium, causing her to have heart palpitations. So, these little micronutrients that we were talking about, these trace elements, are incredibly important. We're going to build out from molecules and elements to cells. And um, we're going to look at different tissues from a human. So I have a bunch of slides, and you'll see like muscle, skeletal tissue, nervous tissue from a human brain. It's kind of weird when you think about it. You're going to need this paper. The sub either has it or it is, well, the sub should have it. Okay. So this is the paper that you're doing. You could always do this on a blank sheet of paper, but that makes it a little hard. It should come with this, where you're going to be looking at a whole bunch of different slides of tissues, and you'll always want to name what it is you're looking at, like intestine or skin. Okay, and you're going to be drawing everything in color, so you'll want your colored pencils. So in the human body, the cells, well, you started out as one cell, right? You were one cell big. At some point in your life, you do not remember it because you didn't have a brain yet. And then, of course, you differentiate into many different cells. Go get colored pencils if you do not have them already. We're just going to draw a few of them. So I'm going to start with drawing a muscle cell. Actually, just kidding. I'm going to draw a brain cell first. So I'm going to make it blue. Brain cells are super cool looking. They've got like weird projections that come out. They do have a nucleus. And this would probably be more like a cell in your spinal cord. And they have a really long tail.
We'll talk more about a brain cell later. Tail ends in little axon tips.
Okay, so it's a brain cell. I want to title that. It's called a nerve cell. I would say that this is in your spinal cord or neuron. There are other types of cells in your body, like a muscle cell. Draw that with red. I'm going to do skeletal muscle. This would be a cell in the muscle in your arms or legs, your hands that you're using right now. They have these weird little lines on them. These are called striations. This is how they contract. This is not what smooth muscle looks like, and it's not quite what heart muscle looks like. This is one cell, has all these little striations. It can have nucleuses. So this would be skeletal muscle. I'm going to shade this in. So when you do this lab, I actually want the drawings to look as best as you can like what you see under the microscope. Some of them are harder than others, so just do the best that you can. And this takes a little while. I would draw at medium power, and you're going to want to pair up with somebody who was in my 6th grade class and knows how to use the microscopes. To set your own microscope up. Once you're set up, I want you to do this by yourself, and you can go in any order you want. There's enough slides that everybody should be able to have one. I'm now going to use brown and yellow. What kind of cell do you think I'm going to draw? A fat cell. And if I was there, I'd grab my fat cell stuffed animal. It's got a little bump on it. Like this. Like this. The little nucleus is shoved off to the side because in the middle is the fat chemical storage in case the harsh winter ever comes. This is called cell differentiation, that the cells would start all looking the same, and then as you developed, right in the very beginning, the cells would like split into different layers, and then they have specific jobs, and what they look like matches the job that they do. So if we get a stem cell, like let's say out of your cheek, we could take a cell, and that stem cell could become a fat cell, could become a brain cell, could become a muscle cell, and there's a lot of scientific research that's happening with that stuff. Some of the cells in your body could be an egg or a sperm. The egg cell is pretty big. And a sperm cell, by comparison, is kind of small. Just saying. So there's a sperm cell. You might see, and I'm going to use purple, the lining of your intestines is really tiny cells. They are a column shaped, usually in one line, which is called simple because it's just a line. Striated means there's many lines of them. This might be cuboidal or columnar. These ones have little things that stick out. These are the intestines, and that is where all your food gets absorbed. Some blood cells. Well, you know you've got red blood cells and white blood cells. White blood cells we're going to learn later what the nucleus looks like because it looks different in each one. Sometimes the nucleus is shaped like that, like a little kidney bean. Sometimes it's got like lots of little specks all over it. So those are white blood cells. Compared to red blood cells are a little bit smaller and they have a dent in the middle.
White blood cell and a red blood cell. Notice how much smaller that is than a cell you might find like in your spinal cord. Let's do a neuron in your brain. They look similar to this, except for they have like crazier little dendrites. These things go all over the place. So a cell in your brain can connect to 10,000 different other cells all at the same time. And it's just this huge network of threads, and electricity jumps from piece to piece. And of course that electricity is your thoughts, your emotions. It's so weird. That's why it's not good to be electrocuted, because that's how your brain and your heart and all your cells really work. It's almost like fire. So those all reach out. Those are the dendrites. Still has that tail that ends in axon tips. Again, you can pause this at any time. Something cool to note is that these guys are always wrapped in fat. The fat wrap. I don't know if you remember that from last year. I'll be selling that at Hotel Cell. Helps your thoughts move quicker. Without that fat wrap, your thought might jump sideways right here to the wrong cell, and then you'd be acting like a cat. Cats are crazy. I'll do a bone cell. We're almost done. So we've got, this would be a neuron in the brain.
I've got a skeletal muscle, smooth muscle is another one. Those are much smaller and they don't have those lines all over a smooth muscle cell. Those are in your intestines. They are right along the wall of your intestines. So if you're ever throwing up, you can think about how your smooth muscles are backfiring on you and pushing food backward instead of forward. That's smooth muscle cell. And let's do one more. I'll do a bone cell. You are gonna see a fat cell, bone cells, cartilage cells, brain cells, skeletal, smooth. There's cardiac. So Muscle cells come in three: skeletal, which you have control over; smooth, you don't have control over; and cardiac, which you do not have control over. Bone cells. I will use black. A bone cell called an osteocyte. Ost is bone, cyte is cell. I'll stop. So you guys are going to be doing a lab where you come up and get a slide. I would look at it at medium power, and you're going to be drawing what you see here. Tell me what slide it is. Like, what are you looking at? It might be brain tissue. And then the magnification. Do not worry about comparing an image from Google. We're not doing that. Just go through and take the slides and see what everything looks like. And this will probably take a while, so just do as many as you can today, and we'll go from there next class.